Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a webinar on how to make quizzes in Google Forms because when I did the demo a week ago, I wasn't able to get through all of it, and I wanted you to have something to reference that was a little shorter, and that way you can pause it if for some reason you missed a step if you're interested. Because I use Google Forms to make quizzes a lot. It's really nice. You'll see you can add video. You can upload documents and charts and things for the students to reference. So I'm going to do a quick demo of that for you. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay. So you can see here on my screen, I'm going to go to Google Forms through Google Classroom. It's very seamless to do it that way. You know that you can get to Forms directly, and you can do that by just typing in Forms. I'm on there a lot, so it's pre-filling it, but it's just forms.google.com. You can get to Forms that way. And then it has it here for you, worksheet, assessment, and exit ticket, whatever you want. Or you can just click start a new form, a blank one that way. But if you're doing things through Google Classroom, it's a lot easier to do it that way. Have your students go in, because then if you're grading it, the grade will automatically upload in Google Classroom. But if you just wanted to do something in Forms and then send them the link and remind or talking points, you can either go to Forms or you can go into your Drive. And if you go into your Drive and click New, you can see you go to More for here, it's got folder, file, blah, blah, blah. And then on the Google applications, you got Google Forms right here. And then you go here, blank form or from a template. And it's so easy to change. I don't even bother with the template. I'll just use either a blank form or copy one I've already done, and you'll see in just a minute. So those are the ways you can get into Google Forms, either going directly to Forms or going to your Drive. But we're going to go to it through Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my class. You want to go into classwork, so the same as you would create any other assignment. You want to go to create. The only ones I use for Google Forms would be an assignment that doesn't have points assigned, a quiz assignment, a question. This is, just one question you're kind of posting on Google Classroom, so I don't use it for that, but I'll use it for maybe material that I'm creating. But for the most part, I'm using it for either an assignment or a quiz assignment where I'm assigning points. So let's just go into a blank assignment, and I'll show you how you can make it a quiz when you get into a blank one. So you click assignment, and the first thing that pops up, it's just like for any other assignment that you're creating. You put your title and any instructions you want to put here to begin with. And then on the side, it's when you want it to be assigned, how many points are there, when it's due. What I typically do is I create it through here, and then I'll come back after I've created the form, because I don't know how many points I'm going to make it. I'll just kind of go through, and whatever the point value is for the quiz, I'll just go here and change it. You can also make it ungraded if you wanted to do that. And then of course material, if you made material, it would be ungraded. And then the due date and so forth. And then the topic is just going to be the folder that you want it to go in. So if you already know that ahead of time, you could do that. But sometimes I'll just go straight into creating it and then tighten all this up before I assign it. So if you want to, let's just title this one the demo. And we don't need any instructions here. It even shows it's optional. There are a couple ways you can do it. So if you want to create a form from scratch, you just click create and then scroll down. It's the very last one. It's forms. When you click that, it will automatically open forms in another window for you to do what you want to do. And when you finish in forms, you don't have to save anything. It automatically saves it, and it will upload to your Google Classroom at the end. And I'll show you that. You can also, if for some reason you created it in Forms, you know, on a different in a different window without going through Google Classroom, the way that you would upload it is you just go to add, and then it would be in your drive. So you just go to your drive and then you add it from here. But we're going to create one. So let me show you. You want to go ahead and click create. Down to forms, and it'll do it pretty quickly. You'll see it'll scroll across here, and then the other window opens automatically. So it goes into this untitled form. The first thing that I do is I would give it a title. Once you click that there, you notice it updates here. Then I would go across, it's going, because I went through Google Classroom, it will automatically put it in the correct Google Drive folder that's associated. So you can see here, move to folder, it's already in my ELA class. But if for some reason you did it, you know, through say the form site and not through Google Classroom, you might, you know, want to put this in whatever drive you're using. Then when you scroll across, you can customize the theme, and if you've worked in Google Forms for anything, you know that you can change the color. You can also add a header, which will be the picture that's up here at the top. So let's just choose an image. So you can see it has several themes that will come up, and you've got your categories over here on the side. You can also upload if you have, you know, some picture or something that you want to use, or an actual photo that's on your computer. But it has to be on your computer. So let's just pick the picture they have here. When you click on the one you want, you get a blue box around it, and then you go to the bottom and click insert. And it will show up. And it's also going to change the color. So there are colors apparently for the theme associated with this image. So I can still change it back though to blue or whatever I want to change it to. And you can go down. So this is the overall theme color. You saw it change. And you can go down here to background color, and I'm just going to make it a little darker. For the font style, it's already in basic, and you can, you know, see what the letters look like, very easy to read. There are only 4 fonts. I mean, this decorative one is, you know, very hard to read. I would never use that. Or the formal, I've never used that. Or the playful, I just stick with the basic because, you know, the students a lot of times are on their phones and things. So I want to keep it where it's the easiest font to read. And those are your only options as far as changing, you know, the color and the image and so forth. So once you do those, you don't have to click save. You don't scroll down. You just X out of it. It's already set and it's already saved. So after you make your title, you can put a description on the form. You know, we're going to practice whatever it is. You write whatever you want on there. But before we get started, I kind of got ahead of myself. After I do the theme, I usually go up to the top, and after customize theme, the next button with the eye is the preview, and we'll do that once we've created this, this little fake quiz. But you want to go to the gear for settings and open that up. So because I went through the Google Classroom, it's going to automatically collect the email addresses. I don't have to do that. But if for some reason I've gone through like the form site or whatever, then you click collect email addresses, and then you'll have the email for your students. And the reason why you want to have the email, especially if you're going through like just forms or Drive, you're not creating it through Google Classroom, is so you know which student did which quiz. Because if you don't have, if you don't ask for their names and you don't have the email, then you'll have to try to figure out who did what, right? So, or if you just collect the email address, but you don't put in a question, you know, where you're asking their name, the email address may be something you don't recognize. So I'm not going to bother, because right here, they've already signed into Google Classroom, so it'll already have their email. That's the email that they will get with their grade and the results of the quiz. So it's already set going through Google Classroom, so we're good there. You can also down here where it says limit to 1 response, where it says that we require to sign in to Google. I usually don't click that. I just have it here for the email. If they want to take it more than once, that's fine. I can tell which one they took first, so I've never really changed that limit to 1 response. And then down here where it says respondents can, and then either edit after they submit it, that one I probably wouldn't do. I'd like to see a full quiz that they've submitted. If they want to do it again, then do it again. But I don't want them to be able to go back in and make changes, especially since, you know, not saying they would, but if they look it up, you know, on their phones or something, they want to go back and put the right answer, they're not able to do it. So I leave that unchecked. Where it says see summary charts and text responses. To be honest, I'm not even really sure what that is. What says respondents can't. So I believe those are the charts that the teacher can see, the person who's created the quiz. I think that they would be able to see it. So I leave it unchecked just for privacy, that they don't need to see some of the other information, you know, on the other students. So after you've gone into general, and again, if you've gone through Google Classroom, you don't have to do anything. It'll be pre-checked to get, you know, for the emails, it'll know which student did what. You click presentation. So a nice thing to check is the show progress bar, especially if you have a lot of questions, because then it'll give a running tally at the bottom of the screen, even on their phone, and it'll show, you know, 2 out of 20, you know, and it gives a running tally going across so they know where they are. Shuffling the question order right here. Oops. That one I don't normally check unless they're in the classroom together, where, you know, they might just happen to look over and be kind of in the same place as another student. Otherwise, this isn't necessary. They're going to be taking it, you know, at home. And then this one, show link to submit another response. I'm really not sure what that is, so I'm actually going to unclick that. Actually, I think that one I've never used and never really even looked at it, to be honest. Sorry about that, but I'm assuming it just gives them yet another link if they want to do it again. So let's do that, just in case they want to submit another one, because I'm not sure if they'll be able to get into the link again without going through Google Classroom again. So maybe leave that one on. Then the last little tab there is quizzes. So if you do want to assign points, you have to go up here and click this tab until it's blue, make this a quiz. And so it will ask you, you'll put in your own point value for each question based on that. If all of your students have Chromebooks, only a couple of my students do, but this is a new feature they've got where it says you can turn on a locked mode. So if they're on some kind of Chromebook, you know, through the school, you know, where they're not, I guess where it's kind of assigned to them. I'm not really sure how this would work, but basically it doesn't allow them to open up another tab or go to any other application where I guess they could look up the, you know, possible answers or something while taking it. So, you know, say during the CASAS test, that would be great for them to have. So this may be a feature, but I don't know much about that. You may want to check, you know, with the office on that. Then at the bottom here for releasing the grade, in general, I do not check the immediately after submission unless the quiz is all multiple choice. If I have them write in any kind of an answer, I do a manual review, because with misspellings or, you know, they capitalize a letter in the middle, who knows? There could be anything. And so I'd like to see it and manually grade it. It will still automatically grade any multiple choice sections or questions that you have on there. And then you'll just have to go in and grade any of the open-ended responses. Then down here, as you scroll, it shows you respondent can see, and you've got missed questions. So you want that to be checked to see what they missed. You want them to be able to see what the correct answers are. So you want to check that. And then the point values, since it's a quiz, you want them to be able to see that. So normally I leave all 3 of those checked. Okay, and that's it. Once you've put in your choices there, you make sure you go down and click save. All right, so it tells you that this form, once I did that this form is automatically collecting email addresses from, you know, from users at the school going through the Google Classroom. So you're already set. This first question that comes up automatically, I always make the name question. So I just type name. When you type that in, I did not click that. This over here automatically changed from multiple choice to short answer. It knew that, that it was a short answer question. So they're going to put it in. What you want to do, the only thing you have to do on this when you're asking for the name, you want to make sure you go down here and where it says required, you want to make sure you click that tab. Otherwise, they might skip over it, you know, accidentally. So you want to make sure you. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the quiz itself. So the first thing you want to do, if you want to have on their phone, which is ideal, if you're going to have an image or chart or any kind of a document that they have to read and answer questions about, you want to make sure that you bracket those questions with a section divider. So basically what will happen here, these two, so the email is automatically collecting it, but on the first screen, it'll have just the name. Or if you've done, this manual one, it'll say, what is your email address? And then the name, and then it'll say at the bottom, next, and they'll go to the next page. The way that happens is on the side here, you have all of these different things that you can add. At the very bottom, you see here, these two bars, it says add section. So before you add a section, you want to make sure that the highlight, which you'll see here no, actually it's already defaulted, but I can't really show you. But once you have other things on here, this highlight bar on the side will show you which one you're kind of working in, which box. So you want to make sure that that is clicked, and that way the section will come underneath it. It'll follow it. So you can see here, it went there. If for some reason you had a bunch and you didn't realize where you were, sometimes you'll hit the section. And if you were up here messing around, you'll say, where'd the section go? So just make sure that you have it. See, there it is. It's blue. Now watch when I go down here. Now that's blue. So if I hit section again, it would be after that. So we're in our second section, section 2 of 2, and everything you put on section 2 of 2, unless it's crazy long, it's going to be on the same page. It'll be on the same page for, when they're on their phones. So let's say this section that we'll title it fruit. And you can put in a description, you can put in the directions for the assignment, and you could have, whatever it is. And I'm doing kind of a lower level vocabulary thing because I know for a lot of you, you're teaching a little bit lower level, so I want to make sure I cover that. So after you enter that information, I'll just show you here. So right here, these 3 dots, if you click on them, this will allow you, if for some reason you get going and you say, you know what, I want this section to be higher, or if the way that you've worded the questions, if that's what it's going to be for the next, say the next section is vegetables, for example, you just click duplicate section, and then you'll go in and you'll be able to change that fruit part to vegetables, and then, adjust your questions, but they'll all have kind of the same format, so you don't constantly have to go through, and copy each one. So you could duplicate the section, and we'll do that maybe at the end, I'll show you. You can also move the section. So other than collecting the emails and the names, say you had all these fruit questions, and then you had vegetables and something else like grains, and you decide, you know what, I want to have the grains first. You would click on move section. And I'll do this in a second when I have more sections, so it's easier for you to see. But when you click move section, it'll bring up each section, and then it'll have the arrows, the up and down arrows for you to be able to move it. I don't think it'll really show it here. Oh, it does. Okay. So obviously you want this to be section 1 needs to say section 1. But if you had all these other sections, all you have to do is simply click, and then it'll move it up here. And then when you click save and you go out of it, now that section is up at the top. So you can reorder them if you want. You can also, once you start doing questions and you have other sections, you can also just click on the section and manually move it. And I'll show you that. So a couple of different ways to move things. And this is just opening it, taking it. So you can either leave it like that, or it'll show you here where you can edit it. So we'll just leave it open like this where you can edit. So say we've got fruit, and now we want to have an image for our students to answer questions about. So just to kind of go over, I'll go bottom to top since I started down here. This is for adding a section. This is for adding a video, and you'll be able to embed a video straight from YouTube or wherever using this button, and I'll show you that in a second. This button here is for adding an image. So this adds an image that basically, I use that when I'm doing kind of a larger image for a whole section that the students are going to ask questions about. But Google Forms is great because you can add this large image, but you can also add an image in each individual question, and you can add an image next to each individual possible answer if you have multiple choice. So you'll see that. Right here where it says add title and description, that is actually this. When you add a section, it's going to add the title and description. But if you don't want to make it a new section, you just say within section 2, you want to have another title section to set off the next set of questions, you would go ahead and put that in. And I'll show you when we get about halfway down through here. This one here, import questions, is nice. It will allow you to import questions from other forms that you've made. It'll connect to your Google Drive, and I'll show you that as well, where we can import questions. And the plus sign is simply to add questions. It'll add a question box. So the first thing I want to do is go back down here to add image, because we want to add an image. You can do an upload, and this is browsing right on your computer, or you can drag, however you want to do it. If you have a camera set up, you can do that. I don't think I have mine set. Yeah, it shows no camera selected. I've never done that, like taking a picture of myself doing that. I don't even know when that would come up. You can put in a URL of an image. It needs to be a picture. So unfortunately, in Google Forms, you cannot just upload a PDF or a Word document. Google wants to control all of it. So if you have a document, you're going to need to convert it to a Google Doc and then save it into your Drive, because then you can do that. But here you can paste a URL of an image. That's fine. If you have photos on your laptop or things that are saved, you can put the photos in. You can, of course, go into your Drive, and let's see. So I have an image here, a JPG, right? So those are easy to upload from your Drive. If not, you're going to need to, like I said, make a doc that's wanted to have something like a Word document. You can also, what's nice is as you're in and you're creating, you don't have to open up another window or tab in order to search for an image. So you can go right here and then just type in whatever it is and add it. So I'm going to go back to upload and click browse. And I think this is the one I have here. And this picture, if it's the right one, I didn't label it. Yes. So this is a picture I just took out of the Oxford Picture Dictionary. And I liked it because the fruit was already numbered. So that could save you time. If you just said, you know, name all of these, you could literally just add questions and go number 1, number 2, number 3, however you wanted to do it. But this is showing you here, we've got, and I don't know, I'll make the screen a slightly bit bigger. So we started, we've got our section 2, answer these questions about fruit. So you could put a title here, but it's not necessary unless you just want to. But it's going to have that there. Now below that, because we want this image to stay on the same page, like on their phones, so they don't have to go, you know, to the previous page. So if you just go up here and click the plus button, it will add a question right below it. And that way, when they're on their phone, they'll see the question right after. So you could either, like I said, just put what is number 1. Then I'm going to do image in just a second, but I want to show you, if you already have this large image, you could say what is number 1. And then you're going to go over here, and this is where you can make all of your decisions on the types of possible answers. So it defaults to multiple choice. So with multiple choice, you would just type here, you know, apple, banana, pear. The next step that you want to do is go down here to the answer key. Now you'll choose which one it is, and it'll turn green. And then you go up here to the points section, and then you just toggle to however many points, or you just, you know, highlight it and type in however many points. You don't have to add any feedback or anything. This is after they take the quiz and say they get, you know, something wrong, that you can explain to them why, or you can refer them to you know, some source or something, you can click here and you can do that. And I'll show you when we do a sample quiz. So after we've checked the one we want, you just click done and it's saved. I'm going to add another question. And now in this question, let's say, trying to think of something that would have multiple, oh, okay. So what kind of fruit I think that's what they are without scrolling back up to look at it. Now in this one, we're going to go over, and instead of multiple choice, you can see your choices. So you have short answer, right, where they type it in. And then if you have an open-ended question, you have where they can type a paragraph. I've never done this because most of my students were using their phones, and you know, the most I ever had them do was type a sentence because I felt it was too much to do on a phone. But if you know they're going to be on their laptops, they could certainly type out a paragraph like, you know, what is your favorite fruit? And then they'd have the paragraph. Yeah, what is your favorite fruit and why? We did multiple choice. And then if you go down here to check boxes, that's the one I want to use for this one. The other one where you have multiple choices here would be a drop down. So drop down and multiple choice, kind of the same thing, right? But let me go to check boxes. Now with check boxes, you're going to type in the possibility. So let's say kinds of fruit, let's say melons, berries, and you can see as you're typing in, you can always add another option, or if you needed to have other as a possible answer, you would just click add other, and then it would put that there. We go into our answer key. Now we have to click, actually I wanted to have more than one. So let me back up a little bit. You have to click done in order to be able to go back and edit the question. So instead of doing check boxes, let me do a drop down for this. So for the answer, it's going to be berries, and then we'll do 2 points. Now suppose, and we'll cover a couple things here. We want to have the drop down, and I'll say which melons. Now we go over here, and I'll cover the image within the question in just a second, because this is still based on the big picture up at the top. So if we click here and we go to check boxes, now we can have, you know, picture 15, 18, 19, and 12. And you click answer key, and I do believe it was, yeah, 18 and 19 are melons. So you would just go here and you click 18 and 19. And then put in our points and click done. Okay, so say we're done with this section, and now we want to add a new section. Again, this is going to be on another page now. So we click add section, and now we'll say name these. And we click plus for add a question. Now with this one, we are going to have images on each question. And so what is this? And then you just click on the image button and it brings up this same box. But let's say we want to go in here and now we want to have a picture of a banana. Just click that and then it'll bring up your options. And the only thing that I don't like about this is it's hard to tell what the size of the picture is. So I just kind of look at, you know, kind of what looks like it might be small. So let's, and I like to get something that looks like what it really is. So let's try this one. Once you click on it, you get this blue box around it. It's highlighted. And then you go to the bottom and you click insert. So not too bad. Still kind of big, but it'll show up smaller on their phones. So now we've got our image on here, and you have a few editing things, not a lot, but over here where the three dots are, if you click here, it shows you can align it more to the left. I mean, you'll see even if I click right align and watch, it barely moved. So I haven't, that doesn't really help too much. Just wherever it aligns itself is good. So now we need for them to tell us what it is. So we're going to do short answer. And so then it has the blank. When you click on answer key, you're going to type in what it is, especially if you are doing, say, a reading assignment or whatever it is. And maybe you're not thinking of what the answer is because you don't have the reading in front of you. It's good to have it as a reference for yourself. But really, for me, that's all I use it as, because these I always manually grade. You can see right here, it has mark all other answers incorrect. I never check that just because of what I mentioned earlier, that they might misspell it or what have you. And then you want to add your points. And it looks good, so we will say done. Now at this point, if we say, you know what, I like this format the way it is, I don't want to have to go through 10 of these and have to type what is it, short answer, blah, blah, blah. You can go down at the bottom and you see here where it says duplicate. You click duplicate and now you've got the same thing. All you have to do now is click on image, Google image search. That one looks kind of skinny. We're going to click insert. And now it's replaced the banana with the pear. So now we don't have to do anything, except we need to change the correct answer, right? So we'll have to go in, oops. It keeps the points, the 2 points, and copy that. But now we're going to go in, type pear, and then done. And you could keep going on and on and on with that. All right, next one I want to show you. And even before this, if you look at that and say, you know what, I don't want this entire question, here's your delete button right at the bottom. If there are questions that you don't want them to be able to skip, you just click the required button like we talked about before. And then here, show description, respond. That one I'm not sure about. I've never clicked on this before. So I'm not really sure what that one is, show description. Not sure what that is. Oh, so it's description up here. And that would be where, you know, you give some additional question information. I've never added anything in that way. Normally the question is just on this one line, but that's what that description is. And the other one, response validation. Oh, this is like for, I'm not even really sure what this is. I don't know if this is math or what it is, but I think I've hit this accidentally and then had to take it out. Okay, so we've got our question. We don't need the description. So I am going to check off that so it goes away. So it just shows what is this. And we're done. Since we have the blue thing on the side, whatever we click next will be right below it. So let's just say after this, now we want to have a video section. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to click add a section. And I'll say, now, the only thing with Google Forms is that if you want to have an audio clip, it's not like in Quizzes where you just click the record button and you're ready to go, or even in Quizlet, which I did earlier today, where that now if you have a premium account, and all teachers get a premium account until June 30th, you can record your own voice as a prompt, and there really doesn't seem to, I didn't see anything about a limit. So it looks like you could do a whole conversation and have them answer questions, but Google Forms does not make it easy. You have to go to an external recorder, like online voice recorder on your computer. You just Google it and you have to record it. And then you have to save it. You have to download it. Then you have to upload it to your Google Drive. And then you have to make it where that audio clip is shareable to everyone, because otherwise it's automatically private if it's in your Google Drive. And then once you make it shareable to everyone, then you have to copy the link and put it in there. So it's a lot of work. And then the link is very, very long. So there are about 5 or 6 steps involved if you want to do just an audio clip. So I will show you that at the end, but that one is pretty involved. And there are other apps that you can use that make that a lot more easily done. So, but on this one, if we say, you know what, I want to go ahead and put in a video, you're going to go ahead to the add video. And now you're on YouTube automatically. If you have the URL, you've already found it, and it's got to be YouTube. I just found out recently that Google bought YouTube. So there again is where everything is just seamless. So if you have the YouTube URL, you throw that there. If not, you can search within here. So I'm just going to go to Rachel. She has a lot of good videos. I would, obviously recommend you get a short one. That's 9 minutes, how to introduce yourself. Let's just click that one. So once it's framed, you're going to go down here and click select, and it will embed it automatically. So it's an untitled video. If you just, you want to say, watch this video and you don't see the play button on here, but when you play it, and you'll see when I do the preview, you'll see where it's embedded. They push play. It does not open in another window. It'll play right here on the form, which is nice. So after you've uploaded the video, now you want to go ahead and add the questions. You just click add question. And you could say, how now on this one, you might want to make it a paragraph so they don't run out of space. I don't know, to be honest, like how much space they have for short answer, but just to, be safe, I just make it where it's longer. So in case for some reason they have some long drawn out answer, they're able to put it in. And then I usually don't put, for this, there's no answer key, open-ended question, you just leave it like that. Or if you want to put in, oh, because I'm sorry, because it's a paragraph, it doesn't allow me to do that. That's right, it only does it for the short answer. So it's just going to be wide open and you'll have to go in and read it. Then you could either add another question about this, or you could, go on with whatever you want to do. So let me add a question now, but at this point, I want to import a question. Say I've already done some videos and I already have kind of some set questions. So it's easier for me with some questions that I've already set up. Instead of clicking add question, you're going to go click here to import questions. And you'll see that it opens up your drive and it shows you all of the forms that are already in your drive. So let's say I go into right here, and then you can scroll on the side and then you pick whichever question you want by just checking the box. So you check the box, you can check as many as you want. So let's say we'll do both of those, and it shows you down here, import 2 questions. When you click them, they will automatically be added over here with the points, whatever was assigned initially, the point value, everything will automatically show with the correct answer and everything. So you could reuse these questions. And there's the second one, which was a short answer. Okay, I think I've covered all of the features here. Add question, import the questions, add the title and description, add image. We added video, we've created different sections. Let me show you if we decide to change this particular question to a multiple choice. So you know that you can add an image to this. We showed that up here where we had the pair. But you can also, if for some reason you wanted to have a picture associated with each possible answer, you would just click here. And we'll say apple. And then insert. And now below, one possible option would be the apple. And then for your second one, you can do the same thing. You could show a pear. So your question could be, which of these is a fruit? In which case you could actually make it check boxes. And for the third one, you could go to Google Image. Let me click on there. Insert. And it's already got the points in, and we're done. So since we're just making those changes, you just click off it and it's saved. So to go back and show you, say we're finished, say we've finished everything that we want. We do want to review it before we save it. So we're going to go into the eye up here at the top, click on that. So you'll see here that it has required. So if for some reason they didn't go through Google Classroom, if you had opted to put in the email at the beginning under settings, it would not let them go past this without typing in their email. Same thing with the name. It has the asterisk, so it's going to require my name. You'll notice this is just on the first page, right? That's what I was saying. We want to have it all on the same page. And it shows down here, here's our running ticker. So because we put show progress, it's showing page 1 of 4. Then they'll click next. And now you can see, it keeps the title up at the top, but now you can see it shows you fruit. It's got the instructions, answer these questions. It shows the image that we uploaded, so that way they can keep scrolling back. I want to make the picture bigger for you, but I'm sorry, it keeps swerving. So number 1, it says, what is number 1? And then they would just click. Got their 2 points. Now they move on to the next one. Here's what the drop down looks like. So what kind of fruits are 14 through 17? They're berries. We click on that. Which pictures show melons? These were the check boxes. So that's what those look like. Now it shows page 2 of 4. They can either go back if for some reason they want to do that, and then it would erase this, or you can click next. Now we're in the ones where they had to name the fruits and they had to write the answer at the bottom. Short answers. And remember, they were bracketed. They were a section, and that's why both of these are on the same page. Now we click next, page 3 or 4, and now we're on the last page. And as you can see, oops, I'm sorry. We've got the video, which is embedded. We click, and it plays right on the screen. I know you guys can't hear the audio, but it plays right on the screen for you. So now they would answer this question. I'm just going to put hello. And I think I must have left this in by mistake. And so this is the good thing with previewing, because now all I have to do is go back to the form, and on the form itself, where is it? Right here. This is the one that I left in by mistake. I just click on it, go at the bottom, go to the bottom, click delete, and now it's gone. So it's not going to be there on the preview, but on the next one, if I previewed it, this thing here would be gone. Then here's the question that I imported, and let's just say 80, I don't know. Now here's where you have your images. So you could see you could have had up to 4 images for your options for them to click. Which of these is a fruit? And once they finish that, they would just click submit. So it shows that the response has been recorded. They're not able to go back and look at anything until you grade it if you set it for manual grading. Again, if you had done multiple choice for everything, they would be able to go back now and see what happened, what they missed and what the correct answers were. And the score would automatically be uploaded into your Google Classroom, you know, if you had the points assigned. So since we finished it, let me X out of it. Now you'll see here, I'm back in our work in progress here. You can see here the tab next to questions now has a number 1, which is the response that I just did. So when you click on response, now you get all of your information. So you get a summary of what happened from all the students who took it. It'll show you the number of responses. And then I like this section with the insights. It tells you what the average score was, the median, what the range was, which is nice, gives you a nice little graph. It tells you which questions were frequently missed. And then it has a score section. You can keep scrolling, and then for each individual question, it'll give you this graph to show you how many got it right and how many missed it. And I'll show you one of the ones from my class so you can kind of see what that looks like, you know, when you have multiple responses. Then when you go into individual question, you can either click here and click on the particular question that you want to see to find out how the students did. Yeah, you can either do it like that, or you can, for each individual question, or you can tab across and it'll show you if for some reason you wanted to look at each question. And then it'll show you here under for the view options. If you click this little tab, it'll show you on each one, you know, what the other options were. I've never gone back in and looked at my questions in this way. Typically what I do is when they're finishing up, I go into the summary to kind of see how everybody did. And then I'll look at like the frequently missed questions. And then I go into the individual. So I skip the question, I go to individual. You can see right here where it's blue, that means I am still accepting responses for this Google form. If you turn it off, then you're done, but here you're accepting responses. If you're one of those people who's good with Google Sheets, you could click here and you could create a spreadsheet based on these results if you want. And then here is like to download or print or delete them, or to get email notification for new responses. I don't do that because I'm doing it through Google Classroom usually, and so I can check there and see who's done what. But those are your options. So going over to individual, if you click individual, depending on how many people you'll have, you know, number 1 of 15 or whatever, and then you can just toggle through, or you can click here and it would have the other email addresses of the people who completed it. You can print out the results, which I've never done. You could delete them if for some reason you need to delete it. But now we can go through and look at what my score was. So it shows you that I got 10 out of 16 points, but that's because we haven't done the manual grading. It also shows you right here that the score has not been released, and it won't be released until I go through and grade, save the changes, and then here click release the score, which will send them an email that will allow them to go back into the form and look at what they missed. So you got the name question under the fruit we've got here. So like I said, even if you click manual grading, it's still going to show you the multiple choice. It has graded those for you automatically. So it's green, it's good. If it's red, it's no good. So scrolling down here, it even recognized, because I had put the short answer and I matched it exactly, it even graded that. If for some reason it was off, like, you know, 2 A's or 2 N's or something, then you would have had to manually grade it. So now with this one, because it's open-ended, it automatically has it as a mistake. So you have to go in and go over, and if it's correct, you'll just give them however many points. And what if you say, you know what, I need for them to review things, or you want to give any kind of feedback, good job, whatever it is, you just click here, and you can do this for any of the questions. You click add individual feedback, you know, great job. If you want to explain something, you can. if you want to add some kind of a resource for them, that you created or that's online, like a video or something, or maybe from your YouTube channel, if you've done a lesson and you want them to review that lesson, you could, other than having to write everything out, you can go down here, and if you click here, it will allow you to upload that YouTube video. So you could literally put a video in the answer for them, or you can click here and you can put in the link if you have a link to something. Oh, I forgot to click save. So whatever you wrote, you need to click save, and there it is. If we wanted to put in a video, for example, you could click here, and I don't know, let's see. So here's like the last class. It's super long, 38 minutes, but let's just say it was shorter than that, and I would hit select. And now it's there. I click, and you could say, watch this part of the video, whatever you had. You click save, and now within their answer, when they get the results, they'll see the video where they can watch it. This one, they did not get it right either, so we'll just say, 0, whatever you got. Now, once you've done grading, once you finish grading, it'll show you at the bottom down here, edits are pending. So what you want to do is go over here, and you're either going to save what you've done, or if for some reason everything's wrong, you discard it. So you click save. Once you click save, it's still telling you that you have not released the score. So then you click here, and once you click release score, you'll see it shows all respondents, but if you have one, say you have your entire class, you've got 15 people who've submitted it. For each individual one that you grade, only that person's email will be highlighted. So it's not going to send everyone an email. But just in case, I usually just click, actually, because it's all respondents, so it won't work unless I had more than one. But if another person's name was down here, if I unclicked or unchecked all respondents, then it would make sure it's just mine. But I've never had a problem with students getting other people's or anything like that. It's usually just check this one for that. So then let's send email and release, and then it shows you the score was released on what day and time. And then if I go check my email, which I probably could do, let's see. Here it is right here. So it shows me score released, and then it shows what my score is. This is what your students would actually receive. Now they can go to view. So as they go in, they can see what they got, and hopefully we'll get down here and you can see. So here's the feedback. Here's the video that they could click on if they wanted to check that out, and then they see it. So the score released. All right, and then if we go to Google Classroom, even though it doesn't look like anything is over here, this form is there because we started from there. So now we can put in, the information. So say we want this to be 20 points instead. We want it to be due, Thursday or Friday, whatever it is. We want it to go into Google Forms quizzes. If you had a rubric, you could add it, but I don't imagine you would, especially for something like these quizzes. And then you can go up and you can either assign immediately or you could schedule it. I'm going to schedule it so my students don't get it and say, what is this? So if I schedule it for whatever date and time, hit schedule, you're going to see that instead of saying an untitled form, up here at the top, it has the FSAS demo that we just did. And you can still make changes even here. And then if you go back in and make changes, if you say, we need to change this picture, or I want to put another picture, what have you, it will update it. So when they click on it, they're not getting, you know, the previous form. They're going to get the most up-to-date form because everything is saved immediately. Okay. The last thing I wanted to show you guys, and it takes a little while here, is to show you how to add an audio clip if for some reason you wanted to do that instead of a video and you don't want to do it in one of the other programs. Like I said, Quizzes and Quizlet will both allow you to speak and put an audio clip in. But if, say right here, you decide, I'm gonna go back to questions. So you have to be in questions on the question side in order to edit. So we're back into questions. So say we get here, we got our blue line. So now we can add a section. And in this section, we're going to say listening again. And now we are going to add a question. And if it's going to be an audio clip, you can just have the entire link here and you can just say, you know, click to listen, or you could even have it up here in your description. Click each link. We're going to number 1. Unfortunately, like I said, there's no way to just put in straight audio here. So what you'd have to do is go to an outside recorder. So one that I use is called Online Voice Recorder. You can see it up here at the top. It's online-voice-recorder.com. And it'll open to this screen. What you want to do, it shows you right here, click the button to start recording. You'll click here and then go ahead and record whatever you want. So let's ask. I don't like apples. They make my tongue itch. Then you click stop. When you click stop, it shows you on here, kind of like this EQ equalizer thing. You can click play so you can hear it back. And I know you guys can't hear it, but you can, you know, of course, play around with this on your own computer. But you can click play, make sure it's exactly as you want it. And it shows you the number of seconds over here. It's 7.6 seconds. And then you want to click save. If your computer is like mine, it'll show it's processing. And once it's done, if you see down here on my screen, you can see where the recording is right here. It's downloaded it. Now what you want to do, after it's downloaded, you want to go into your drive. You want to click New and File Upload. When you click File Upload, you can go into your download folder here. And you can see it's the most recent one. It shows Record Online Voice Recorder. And double click that. Update the existing. Okay, yeah, I want to update the existing because I had one on before. So now it is uploaded and it's the most recent one. It shows right here. What you want to do is you want to right click on it. And you want to go down to where it says right here, get shareable link. The reason being, if you don't make it shareable with everyone, you'll have the link in your Google form and your students will click and it won't work. They won't have access. So click get shareable link. It will automatically, I don't know if you saw it, it was so quick. Right here where it says link sharing on, it was grayed out, but because I said get shareable link, it automatically went over to green. And yours should too. So if I turn that off, let's go out of it and go back. I'll right click. So watch, it'll be pretty quick. When I click get shareable link, see how it, oh, I guess because I turned it off manually, it kept it from doing that. So you can see here only specific people can access. So you want to click that and make it, sorry about that. Click that and make it green. Ooh, stay green. So then go down here to sharing settings. And you'll see here the link sharing is on, but it also shows here anyone at Fairfield Sassoon can view. So they're still going to need to go through their Google Classroom because of the way I've set this up. If you're going to use it through some other, you know, Drive or something and want them to be able to access from other email, you would have to do it that way. But everything I'm doing through the school's email. Then you want to click here to copy the link. And then you go back to the demo and then you just cut and paste it. Now this is a very long link and you can just leave it just as it is. If you want to see what I do when I put an audio clip in, I actually go to a website that's free. It's a bit.ly, and you can see here, it has a really long address, but if you just Google bit.ly, B-I-T-L-Y, it'll open up to this. You just register, it's free. And it'll open up like this, and you can see on the right, it says edit link. What you do is in here, can't even see. Okay, go to create. I don't know why that opened automatically. Normally when I open my page, it looks like this. So you want to go to the big orange button that says create. And then it shows you right here. It says paste long URL. And you just paste it in there. Just right click, paste it. And you see how long it is. And then I didn't even click create at the bottom. It automatically reduced it to this short link. And it takes up less space. So if they're on their phones or something, you won't have these super long links taking up space on the page. So that's the reason why I do it. So after it makes it into this short link, you just click copy. Now we're going to go back to the demo. I'm going to just backspace over all of that. And now I'm going to put in the bit.ly, which is so much shorter. Going to make this a short answer. And now I'm going to, well, I can't actually play it for you, but it's going to make an audio clip. So let me go back in to preview. Okay, so this last section you see here, it's got the link. When they click on the link, it actually is going to open in another window, which is also an issue. That's why I don't like really using audio clips in Google Forms, because unlike the videos, it's going to have to play in another window. And then they'll go here and click play, and they will be able to hear it. But then they have to go back now to the quiz. So that is how you would put in. So just to show you, if you want to do something with an audio in quizzes, if you remember in creating a new quiz in quizzes, all you have to do is go here to media, click audio, and click record, and it's automatically there. So, and it's starting at 3, 2, 1. What is your favorite fruit? You say what you want, click stop. You can play it to listen to it. You could delete it and do it again, or click save. When you click save, it's automatically there. And so when they're on their phones, this is what it'll look like. And they'll just click the play button, and then they'll have their answer choices at the bottom. So quizzes, and I've done a professional development recording on this one. This would be a better alternative if you have a short audio clip. You're just asking one question: what is your name? What's your favorite fruit? If you have something that's longer, and you'll see this also in the video that I've done for Quizlet, if you go into create a flashcard set for Quizlet, when you go down here to create it, you'll see the minute you click, the minute you put the cursor here, because you have to have a term and a definition, the minute you click here, it opened up this set of options here at the top, you know, where you can bold, italicize the writing, but over here you see where you can add a voice recording. When you click that, it opens this up at the bottom. You can either hold the space bar on your laptop, or you can click here to record. Again, this one is unlike quizzes. The one I was just in, there's a 10-second limit. With this one, you can just go on and on. I haven't been able to find out what the limit is. but you click here, but you have to hold it in order for it to record. And then when you let go, it automatically saves it. And then it plays it, as you can see with the yellow line going across, it played what I recorded. So if you like that and you're good with it, you just leave it alone. You can delete it if you don't want to do that. Or like it says, if you want to switch to something else, then you could. So that's a way to have a longer recording without having to go through the additional steps in order to put it in a Google form. So it shows up. And you don't have to do a bit.ly. I just do that so that way it's not so long. All right. Well, I am going to stop sharing. I think I've covered everything that that you would, hopefully, that questions that you would have about Google Forms. If for some reason there's some other question you've run into, just email me and I'll be happy to answer. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Bye.